Okay, let's see how this multi-agent system takes over the software development lifecycle. Here we're in the chat interface that lets you trigger the development of new features, app ideas the agents should take over. And here you can choose between different models from AWS Bedrock, select the agent system architecture, and how much human engagement you want. So now you can go ahead and start a chat telling the multi-agent system what to build. We'll just create a really simple Lambda function that just returns a hello text. Okay, now let's speed it up a little bit and give it a couple of seconds to kind of think through the process and what it needs to do basically. We have the supervisor agent that already is distributing the tasks to the different engineers, product manager, and operations agent. And in a couple of seconds, we can just basically take the ID and check the board on what task it actually planned to perform the task that we just gave the multi-agent system. The cool thing about the agents is that they can actually interact with other systems, such as GitHub, for example, as we can see here. And now in the next step, the engineer actually takes over writing the code and already created a pull request with the relevant content. So we can go ahead and check this out in GitHub as well, where the agent pushed the code. Then in the next step, the supervisor actually tells the reviewer to go ahead and check out GitHub again to write a comment and tell the engineer what it could improve actually in this code. So in the next step, what's going to happen is that the supervisor agent actually tells the engineer to incorporate this feedback. So we can see what kind of new instructions it had. And we can also see that another commit was added by the engineer that kind of implements what the reviewer had to say about the previous code that was written. And then in the next step, what we need to do is basically approve the merge request such that the code will actually be merged and put into production. What we could also see here is actually that the reviewer also approved the request, but a human also needs to approve this such that the system could move forward. And now you can tell the multi-agent system basically, okay, I approve this request, and now the operations agent can go ahead and deploy it such that the AWS Lambda function is actually live and can be used. And I'll speed up this clip because it actually takes a couple of seconds for the operations agent to perform this, and then we can come back and see what actually happened and check if it actually works. So we can already see some outputs here. It's giving us some links to the CloudFormation stack that was created, where the Lambda function is also situated. And then we can basically go over to AWS, check our resources and see, okay, we have this hello Lambda function, and then go ahead, test it out, see how the template looks like that the engineer agent basically wrote. And we can see, okay, it basically returns what we wanted from it. And it's actually deployed on our AWS resources, which is great. And then the last thing that the operations agent does is provide a quick report on what actually happened, what it had implemented in the whole system, and then, yeah, this is how we can see how this whole system works together.